What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Orcust Machine going up against, on the right side, we have Alistair Runick. I guess we're normal summoning Alistair in 2024 here. I guess, going back to old Reliable, there is lots of good cards like SP Little Knight as well. You're going to be able to put your Invoker in the graveyard, therefore you can just use material in the grave. And there is lots of lights and darks. Kaliga is also really good, I suppose, this format as well. And then you have also Purgatorio, being able to banish your opponent's Fire King cards, kind of acting like a DD Crow is quite nice as well. And before we dive in, over to like, comment, subscribe, host channel a lot here. We are going to be seeing the Alistair player going to be choosing to go first with a starting off. We have a Smithing Storm. Also, the good thing about the Runick cards, it does provide an interruption as well as additional draws. And then we're going to be seeing the effect of Hugin discarding a copy of Freezing Curses, I believe it was, to then search for a fountain. But will we have another... We do have a fountain here, so we can activate the fountain. But do we have another Runick spell to let us continue this line? We do have a Dispelling, but we can't really be summoning off of that Dispelling. We're just going to pass turn on this. We do have an Ash Blossom in the hand. But one Ash and a Dispelling is not going to do very much against the Orcust deck. Wonder if maybe you just keep the Freezing Curses and just discard Dispelling, because you can always use Freezing Curses essentially. It looks like we have another Freezing Curse in hand. That makes sense. Okay. We're going to see them activate Machine Deployment or Machina Deployment here. They're going to be sending the copy of the big one. And that does get hit with Ash Blossom there, letting us not be able to search. Always feels nice being able to, hit a copy of Trade in essentially. Then we're going to see a normal summon of a Girsu here. And we do have another Freezing Curses to be able to negate and banish. And we do hit, I believe we hit the Orcust Nightmare. But then we're going to activate the effect of Fountain, drawing us 3 cards, which is the important part here. And we draw into a Meltdown. So this is something that I was kind of interesting in when we were talking about the theory, me and this guy. He was asking me about the deck. And I thought Meltdown access is really nice. But you kind of want to have your Fountain on field at all times. We are going to see them draw the additional card there. So choosing not even to go battle phase is interestingly enough. I guess they don't want to free up that extra deck slot so that they can't just summon another monsters, I suppose. But we do have triple Meltdown in the hand here. I remember this exact moment. He told me he drew 3 of them off of this. Or he drew 2 of them and then an Alistair, and then for top deck he drew into the 3rd Meltdown, and it was super bad, but it was really funny, to be honest. We're gonna see them link both away into a copy of SP, and this is a power of you no longer having to use those copies of not Link Karibo, but that's our new kind of thing where we link a level 1s. But we used to be able to link away for Almirage, and then for a, I forget, Secure Gardener was the name I'm looking for. But we can now just go into an SP with the Runick cards that are able to provide that additional body. I'm also being able to banish the copy of Girsu. Then we can activate the effect of the Invocation, banishing those 2 to summon out a copy of, and Huggins is also a fusion monster. Let's go for the Invoked Asylum or whatever it's called. Elkium? I don't even know. And someone's in the comments be like, it's pronounced this. I don't know. I don't really care either, to be honest. But we're seeing them banish the Invocation here to add back the Alistair. We are skipping the battle phase this turn, therefore we do not summon our Asylum and attack position. But we do get to just pass on this, I believe, with 1 additional Runick card in the hand and our 3 copies of Meltdown. I would have a meltdown if I drew that like that. But dealing with a copy of SP as well as multiple cards in the hand can be quite difficult, especially when you're going up against, well, I mean, especially, it's more difficult when you know you're playing against. In a build like this, we have zero idea what we're playing against, so we're kind of just hitting the first thing that we see, therefore our opponent can let us summon out more stuff, and then we're going to be hitting the Scrap Rapper that got normal summoned, and then they're just going to actually pass turn on this, so it being a really nice hit. We do see a Slumber in the hand. Our extra deck is now freed up, but we're going to play a copy of the Magical Meltdown. This is going to let us search for a copy. Oh, they're not going to do that, okay. Yeah, they're going to normal summon the Alistair. We already have Alistair in the hand, therefore we don't really need to. We can go for the Invocation here. I do not really recall the effects of the other fusion monster. We're going to go for a copy of this Celine. Then we can activate using both of those, so we're still playing those cards that we see there. Maybe not playing the Link, or the Secure Garden or whatever it's called. But we're going to go for a Makaba, good old trusty, reliable, level 9 Omni Negate by discarding a card. And we have lots of spells to be able to discard for this. We're going to go Battle Phase, and we're going to attack with SP, and then we're going to attack with the copy of the Bow Fusions, and just pass turn on this. So we now have a monster or a spell negate in the field, as well as dealing with an SP. And it looks like there's a Nib in the hand as well, which is not going to do very good against a board that's already established. I do see a Jet Synchron being normal summoned, which is never really a good sign. But this can go for our new copy that we link away. Good old Link Karibo. This is an additional body, which is crazy that Jet Synchron plus one other card can get you into SP. And when you have a good discard like a copy of Wand to be able to bring back one of those banished cards, it's pretty nice. But we're going to be banishing SP here for some reason. Trying to get the body on the field. We're going to summon back out the Jet Synchron, and I believe we're probably going to Aguades pop it. And we are going to be seeing that. And they're going to scoop it up on that. This is going to make it so they have to have another extender for that World Wand to be able to banish and then dump. So I guess they wanted to get rid of both bodies on the field, which is, can it target anything? If World Wand can target anything, that definitely is a play. Maybe just keep the Link Karibo. I suppose it's kind of difficult, but we are going to be seeing them go take this game here, going into game 2. And even though they had those copies of those multiples, the lovely triple copies of the field spell here, it is pretty nice to see, like, we have a bunch of other stuff as well. And they still have, like, the Negate, which is essentially like the kind of the bread and butter of the Invoke strategy. But you have to be careful when you are playing against Invoked still, because if you don't keep your graveyard, like a lot of people are not playing like graveyard attention. It's like if you have your Runicks in the graveyard, chances are it's going to be at prey of the Invocation, banishing it. But we didn't see very much of Orcust in the game 1 there, having a bit of an unfortunate hand, or being stopped, I should say. We saw like 3 interruptions kind of happening there, but we are going to be moving on into game 2 here, with them going first this time. Runick is not the greatest deck going second. It does have the amazing abilities of breaking those boards, but in some cases, if they're able to set up a negate, it's hard to play against those kind of decks. I don't know how well the machine stuff do, the Machina, but I know that we're going to be seeing a set 2 and a pass. Quite angry there too. It doesn't look too good for the Earth Machine Orcust deck. I know the Orcust strategy does have a bit of bricks, but we're going to see a normal summon of an Alistair, activating the effect, searching for an Invocation here. I mean, if you don't have a monster in the graveyard, you can't lose your graveyard to it. We're going to be seeing them most likely link away for a copy of the Artemis, activate the effect there. And we are going to chain emergency this. Let's let us summon out 2 monsters, which is very nice. You know, it is a good target to hit with Ash Blossom if we had it. So we are going to be summoning here. I'm going to go for a copy of the Scrap Recycler as well as... They're just going to take a second to read. They looked like they were going to go for Fortress there, but... We are still going to go for Fortress, okay. Scrap Recycler and Fortress. I know Fortress is one of Todd's favorite cards. I've been playing this for a very long time. They're going to see the match for the effect of the invocation, putting back and then adding back the copy of Alistair here. Battle phase into the Scrap Recycler. And then they're going to be setting a card and passing turn on that. I mean, that card is quite good. Summoning 2 bodies on the field. We're going to see them normal summon out a copy of Gearsu here. This is going to let them also dump. Do they negate this with Macabre? They don't, okay. They're going to see them go into a Galatea here, not even activating the effect. Then we're going to be dumping the copy of Orcust Nightmare here. Bringing back out the Fortress. We do see a Call by the Grave flipped up. Do we have a way to necessarily stop that? They're thinking on it, which makes you want to believe that we have some kind of ability to do something about it. Looks like they have a Babel in the hand. That would have been so rough. We're going to see them activate Crescendo here to negate, valuing that, and this is a counter trap, therefore we cannot respond to it without a counter trap. So we're going to be seeing Call of the Grave being negated here, which is kind of crazy. You don't see that very often. We do also have a Droll in the hand as well. We still have 1 card left, which is the Orcust Babel, which makes all the monsters now quick effects. We're seeing them attempt to go battle phase, and then they're going to be activating the Alistair to boost up the attack here. We're going to activate Orcust Nightmare to boost the attack of the Fortress there. Then we're going to Macabre negate that with discarding a copy of Droll and Lockbird. It's going to attack into the Macabre Crash itself. And then it's going to activate its effects to, destroy all the other cards or all the monsters that have less attack than it, which is going to be, the Macabre. Then we're going to be seeing the Galatea attack directly here, just chipping in a little bit of damage, which is pretty nice. And then we can activate the effect of the Galatea to put back into the deck, and then we can set maybe an Orcust Return. Or not setting an Orcust Return. Maybe not even playing it, not having any of the Orcust cards that they can set from the deck. So we're just going to make a ding here. And they also have Babel on the field already, so maybe just playing the Babel and Crescendo. Or maybe a smaller Orcust package, therefore not needing the return. Orcust Return is a pretty nice card, though. We're going to see them activate a copy of Invocation once again. Chances are they do not have the Earth one in their deck, therefore they cannot get rid of that Fortress. And do we want to go for a copy of Kaliga is the question. We are going to be seeing them go for the Kaliga there, which is quite a powerful monster. People forget, like, they always talk about Winda. I remember back in the day when you used to be able to summon this and Winda. Oh my gosh, Invoked Dogmatica was such a fun deck. The IDS was a nice time in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. It was one of my favorites, to be honest. I really did enjoy. But that was the start of the Albaz, and I love Nadir Servant, going for the Ecclesias, and we're going to see then a Typhon being made, as well as bouncing the Gears, or the not the Galatea, the copy of Dingirsu back to the extra deck there, dumping the Galatea in the graveyard. We do have also the copy of Crescendo in there that we can banish to do some stuff, making them not essentially on the just top deck mode, but they are going to be on very, very minimal, as well as having a set card and having follow up in the next turn with a normal summon of an Alistair. We're going to be banishing the Crescendo here to let us search for a copy of a Girsu. Personally, I would have waited probably to my top deck so I could see what if I would have drawn, because if we draw a Girsu in the follow-up, it's going to be horrible. But we're going to be searching for a World Wand instead there, maybe hoping that they have some kind of discard for it. But I'm not too sure what they can do. World Wand can activate in the hand, so then we're going to be drawing for turn here. And we do see a copy of Fossil Dig. This will get us to the Scrap Raptor. These scrap cards are quite good. I remember playing this in Dinos. We're going to see them normal summon, activate the effect there. And we do have a Freezing Curses once again for it. And we hit the Girsu as well as the Machinix return. We're going to activate the World Wand there to summon. Oh, we're going to activate the... It's... Okay, I see what happens here. Forge is going to activate, discarding the copy of World Wand to summon himself out. That's going to let him get to the graveyard. Then we can link both of those away into the Scrap Wyvern here. And this card is insane. I remember when this card got, announced, people were going, honestly just wild for this card. But, now it's just not doing anything. We do see it get hit with a bell. We're going to activate the World Wand, bring back it with the Girsu. And then Girsu can activate its effects now, which can then dump the Harp Horror, the one and only, the man himself. Our boy is free. Then we're going to see this summon out the Orcust Nightmare here. And this is going to be a link for, I believe we are locked into Darks. Now we're going to go for a link to most likely being a Galatea or perhaps even an SP Little Knight. Now we're going to go for a Long Gear, so I forgot about this card altogether. And then we can shuffle back the banished cards and then send one to the graveyard. That being the copy of good old Typhon. We are now going to see the Nightmare going to be banishing himself. And this can dump quite a few things. Dumping a copy of Ruin Force. This card's really good too. I remember another card that was really hyped up on announcement and didn't do very much, or didn't do much in the way of anything here. It could be kind of good against the Runick matchup though if they banish a bunch of your machines. We're going to then go for a copy of Dingirsu, which can then let us attach a card from our banished. Most likely going to be the copy of Harp Horror. Therefore, when it leaves the field, it'll be able to send itself And then we're going to activate the effect of the Ruin Force by banishing 3 monsters, summon himself out, and that's going to just be a game right then and there. This guy is huge. I think it's like 33. So that's going to be a game, which can come out of absolutely nowhere with these machines. I think that Earth Machine is just a wild deck. Like, so to this day, I don't even know the proper ways to hit it. It's like, it is the Highlander deck. Now, there's so many different ways of playing it, and like with these Machine X cards, or I suppose the Orcust cards being now an addition, it's not your traditional Earth Machine deck. Hopefully, maybe Todd will be cooking up a traditional Earth Machine deck for you guys in the future, but for now, I know he's experimenting with the Orcust cards, which I'm also going to be doing a short. If this is not gone up past that, the short might already be up, but I'm going to be doing a short about Orcust and its impact on the current meta here, because the shorts do a lot for the channel. So if you guys haven't seen any of the shorts, check it out. You know, I want to be doing some informational stuff, which I don't really like doing in a regular type video. I find that a lot of the time you can just fit in that information in like a minute, which can be quite good, and you can release multiple stuff if you need more than 1 minute, as well as, like, you know, just having the opportunity to go over lists. Not every video has to be like 5 minutes long or 10 minutes long. Our attention spans are kind of shorter these days. So we're going to be diving on into Game 3 here, with Runick going to be in control. They don't love Game 3, you know, approaching time a little bit. We also see, you know, it being paired up with a control type deck, and Alistair having the variety to going into multiple stuff as well with the Purgatrio could be an option. But of course, if we activate those Runick cards, we won't have a battle phase. So we are going to be seeing the Runick deck choosing to go first here. And is that a... No, I was going to say, I thought it was Gravekeeper's Inscription, but it was a Destruction. I was going to say, there's no way. We're going to see them activate a Destruction right away here. I do want to point out that before I was playing the Bestial Runick deck, I never touched Runick cards. I dabbled with them a little bit in experimentation, but before then I didn't realize how important it was to sequence and activate your Runick cards correctly, depending on which ones you have in hand. To be able to activate, because a lot of times you can't activate a bunch of them if you don't have like multiple ways of getting it. Like, for example, your Slumber is the only one you can activate during your turn, as well as Tip to not summon. So like, well, obviously other than the spelling. So like, if you have a Flashing Fire or Freezing Curses, you have to have something your opponent does. So activating like a Destruction to summon and not keep it can be quite crucial. But we're going to see them, looks like, set a Super Poly there. But they're going to be hitting them with a Lightning Storm, calling back row. And Hugin will be protecting that. Todd is notorious for drawing the Lightning Storms. If you guys have been watching the channel for a long time, there's been multiple times where he hits me with double Lightning Storm after I negate the activation with it. And it just feels absolutely just destruction. But we are going to see the man, the myth, the legend, Harpor being normal summoned here. And we're going to Freezing Curses to summon out the Munnin. We're going to be seeing a Typhon being made here, but we can't make a Typhon because only one monster has been summoned this turn. So we're going to see them bounce back and then set. Yeah, you definitely cannot do that. We did kind of protect the battle phase, though. They went into battle phase to attack. And then they ended up getting the Munnin to summon itself out. And we see them DD Crow and then Hall by the Grave. Just absolutely just destroying here. Then we're going to be passing back to them. Banishing the Harpor to summon out here a Girsu. Yeah, you definitely cannot summon. It says, if you pick up Typhon, I have a copy right with me. It says, I think it says like this turn. Let me see. During the turn or the turn after, your opponent summons 2 or more monsters from the extra deck. So they didn't summon during this turn 2 or more, or the previous turn. They summoned 1 during each turn. Therefore, you could not make it. But we are going to be seeing them kind of go off here. They still have a little bit of time. So, like, depending on what that top deck was, like, I can just pretend that I don't know that Typhon being bounced. They will be making a Mud Dragon, which is nice for them. But they would have been able to make perhaps a Dragostapelia instead. But we kind of just need a way to summon out another body here. We do have the Crystal Skeleton, though, so I suppose we might have had a way. Then we're going to be activating that, or we're going to be putting back to set the Babble and place the Babble face up. And there's no need to set it. And we are approaching a close to time. We did see that Super Poly discarding a Super Poly. We are running low on cards there. So we're going to see the Nightmare going to activate its effects. You know, most likely going to be dumping the Wand, which we are seeing now, banishing the Wand to then be able to summon back out the copy of the Nightmare here. We're going to link away for a copy of SP, perhaps? No, IP here, okay. And just pass on this. We're going to see the man, the myth, the legend, Alistair being normal summoned, activating the effect. They are going to be chaining here to be able to summon, or to dump here. Dumping the Crystal Skeleton, which is going to then be able to summon something out from the graveyard. But being able to search for that invocation, that is huge. With time almost being called, Skeleton's going to summon himself out. We're going to activate the effect of the Orcust here. We're going to be able to attach. Then we're going to activate the effect of the year. So going for an SP. SP is going to be banishing the copy of Alistair, and that's going to be game right there. You know, having nothing and having essentially a follow-up. We are going to be seeing the Orcust deck take the win here. You know, we just see a little bit of a misplay. Not the best opening hand at all from the Alistair Chimera deck. Having like double Super Poly and getting hits on the copy of Hugin there to search for your spells, and also having Invocation with no monster on the field isn't the greatest either. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm hopefully having both these decks being featured more in the upcoming meta here. You know, we're not just a Fire King channel. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I want to see some more content like this. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.